Why ain't nobody talking about the fact that the California court threw out the the defamation of character and the extortion suit against Tony Buzbee?
Real life. If it ain't real life, it ain't acting.
If it ain't real life, just a real life street stars. You know what time it is. When you see Diddy get the verdict come in and they say that he was walking back to his cell and he had a standing ovation from the other inmates.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
what's your
sure.
take? Yeah, what's your take on that?
Inmates who are facing lifelong federal crimes are going to be happy for anybody that escapes the news. That's not like, yeah, you're talking about applause from a bunch of scumbags. That's a like, how is that a good thing? You didn't get those applause from people in the churches. You got those applause from scumbags who's sitting there. I don't know. Did Luigi Maggioni clap too? Because ain't he over there?
Yeah.
And he's in there for what?
I mean,
Like
that's
the
murder.
jail that he's in, the federal jail that he's in, got really people that done some really terrible things in there.
Yeah, yeah.
And those applause mean something? I, I don't know. I don't know. It seems like the world is so addicted to capping that they don't know when to stop because they sound absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, this verdict is being celebrated like it's a win, and
Anybody who gets released out of jail, people clap. They clapped every time I got out, and I didn't do nothing. You don't hear me running around bragging, yeah, man, because when I was in jail, man, all they did was clap and all they did was, you don't hear me do that. I had girls dancing on the table when I left. But then again, they all knew I was innocent. And I was in there praying with people. There was people that cried too. There was people that didn't want to see me leave. Because who was going to pray with them? Who was going to do Bible study with them? Who was going to make spread with them every Sabbath? You know, like prisoners get emotional for all kinds of things. But if you ain't never been in there, please stop acting like you know the value of what that shit means. It was bad people clapping for a bad man who got away. And guess what? They sitting up there, ooh, maybe. Maybe when I go, it'll be good for me. It's called hope. It's just wild. Yeah.
yeah, definitely, definitely. We're- with all this coming, because again, like you said, the dust is still in the air. Ain't nothing going away.
Oh, yeah.
More lawsuits are coming out. What is your crusade for all this? Like as far as the message you're continuing to push, because it seems like it fell on deaf ears from some of those
Diddy is
jurors.
in God's hands. I'm working on the rock. See, I'm looking at that thing. You know how you play dominoes and you get the big six. You got that spinner, you know?
Yeah.
And you sometimes you waiting on that spinner because that's your win. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm working on. I'm working on the spinner. I'm working on big six. I'm working on big six. And we gonna make it interesting. Cause see, Diddy's already caught. There's no need for me to sit there and fret over what's caught. Caught is caught. He's in there. As it stands right now, there's no bond, and his lawyers have agreed to let it go to October 3rd. There's a lot that can happen in what are we talking about? 10 weeks. A lot can happen in 10 weeks. But what I do know is that a superseding indictment is a superseding indictment. Is there. He's sitting there. He's there. He's caught. Now the question is, can we find one thing that can link him to any of his friends who deserve to be there with him? Why ain't nobody talking about the fact that the California court threw out the the defamation of character and the extortion suit against Tony Buzbee and the autistic victim?
Right.
Why ain't nobody talking about that? Because she never retracted anything she said. Even though Alex Spiro got the private investigators to go down there and harass her family and harass, the people at the doctor's office, at the gas station, at all of that, so that they would drop the case, and then everybody respectfully walked away, and then they came back with this to try to make the NFL think that the Jigga Man was the right guy still for the job. You want to know what's so funny? Everybody keeps forgetting where the NFL was with the black community before the Jigga Man stepped in, before Rock Nation stepped in.
Right.
There was a blackout. No black dollars were being invested into the NFL at all. Colin Kaepernick, at one time, he was leading the charge on that. And then all of a sudden, this big lip freak comes out of nowhere talking about we're past kneeling. And now all it took was him bringing all of these weirdos that are into all of this crazy stuff, that do all these satanic rituals live in front of American audiences, game after game. And then the black people was back to spending their money.
Right.
How did we forget that we were boycotting the NFL because of their unfair treatment for us and our players? And guess what? The treatment didn't change. Halftime show just got better, or that's comparative, or depending on who you're talking about performing, because they
Yeah.
ain't all been great.
Would you say Rock Nation's doing a decent job with it?
No, not really. They're pandering. They're doing nothing more, because the only people that they're putting up there are their people and people that are loyal to them. That's it. They're not bringing. There's a lot of other people that could have gotten a halftime show. And I mean, I understand the whole Kendrick Lamar play, and that was supposed to be enough to satisfy the masses or whatever. But that's starting to really look kind of weird now. It's starting to look really weird right now, especially considering everything that Top and Punch got going on. I wish they had never asked me to speak up for them. I believe so much in everything that Kendrick was doing that when they had those lawsuits coming up and Gloria Allred was coming after Kendrick, I got out there on my soapbox and I spoke up for it, and whatever the case may be, until I started seeing the lineup. And now look, here we are. Now, it's the usury that I don't like. I don't like it. I don't know if Kendrick knew he was a pawn. I don't know if he didn't know whether or not he had any choice. I think he did an amazing job. I'm glad that no harm came to him. I'm glad that it was a beautiful Black History moment and celebration. But the truth is, after that, he just went off on tour, and it's not a lot of. Yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff going on.
Shout out Reallyfe Street Stars, nigga. Move. Hey.